Say hello to the new third generation Volkswagen Tiguan. Some people are saying it's giving Audi vibes, but is it really? Well, we're gonna find out in this video. We're also gonna talk what's new, what this thing is from a technical standpoint, how I feel about the interior space, and obviously what it's like to drive it. So let's get started. So I think Volkswagen finally got some courage and let their designers have a little bit of freedom. And when you look at the new third generation Tiguan, it finally doesn't look like an NPC vehicle, but has a little bit of that German premium feeling. Volkswagen also added new technology and more standard equipment without significantly raising the price of the new Tiguan. The new model starts at around 30 grand and goes up to around $45,000, which is a lot of money, but that's also what we typically see in this segment. But the new design and technology aren't everything, so let's talk about some technical changes that Volkswagen made to this new third generation Tiguan. First of all, it sits on the MQB Evo platform, which underpins a vast majority of modern Volkswagen products. It's a strut front, multi-link in the back combined with passive, not adaptive dampers. The new Tiguan also lost some weight, which is surprising for a new car, as usually we see a weight gain. The new model weighs 170 pounds less, so that should slightly improve driving dynamics and fuel economy. Now, while the new model is slightly longer than the predecessor, and by slightly I mean an inch, we no longer have a third row of seats available. But to be honest, it makes sense because you don't really need a third row in a compact SUV. You will most likely upsize to a mid-size or just go full blast and get a full-size SUV. Now, also some of you Volkswagen enthusiasts might know that the Tiguan that we get here in the US is not exactly the same what Europe gets. Our North American version is a little bigger, closer to the Tyrone, which actually has a third row of seats and it's longer, but let's not confuse each other. Get back to our Tiguan. We have two powertrain options, basically two different versions of a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. Base 201 horsepower variant and a more powerful 268 horsepower version in the turbo model that we have today. I mean, both cars are turbo. I really don't know why the stronger model is called turbo, but whatever. It's an E888 unit, just like in the GTI or a Golf R, but unlike those two, we have an 8-speed conventional automatic on board instead of a 7-speed DSG, which makes sense because it's smoother and cheaper to maintain. Now, by default, the car is front-wheel drive with the exception of the turbo model, which is all-wheel drive as standard. And if you want to opt for an all-wheel drive and non-turbo trims, it's a $1,500 option. Other markets also get diesels and a plug-in hybrid, but that's not the case in North America, although I have a feeling that a plug-in hybrid will come here at some point. Now, before we talk what it's like to drive the new Tiguan Turbo, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. Okay, so we're inside the new Volkswagen Tiguan. When you look at the cabin space, it will blow you away and make you think that you're in an Audi. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it's actually pretty good and Volkswagen did a decent job with this cabin. The previous generation was okay, as with most Volkswagens, but lacked color options and variety in materials. Well, I'm happy to say that that's not the case with the new model, which has a good mix of different textures, different color options, all plastics, or most of them feel nice to the touch, and I'm not afraid to say that from an overall quality and feel perspective, this is the best cabin in the segment. The only change for worse, if we compare it to the second generation Tiguan, is reducing the amount of physical controls, as many things were moved into the infotainment system, but we do have real buttons on the steering wheel and the infotainment system itself isn't the worst. I mean, I don't understand why you would ever need a 15-inch display in a car, but the resolution is high and black levels are also good, so it's not gonna blind you at night. The unit runs updated software with a new UI, and generally speaking, it's easy to use. Plus, we still have physical volume knob that we can also change its function to be a drive mode selector. It just sucks that we cannot easily adjust the temperature inside the cabin, but oh well, you can use voice commands, as many people say. Now, the usability. Cleaning up the center console meant more storage space. The door pockets are also great, and while the cargo area isn't mind-blowing like it is in a CR-V or a RAV4, it offers all you need in a compact SUV, even if it has to serve as a family vehicle. Now, let's talk about the seats and the driving position. The front seats are very comfortable. In this top R-Line trim, they are heated and cooled and even offer a pretty effective massage mode, which I wasn't expecting in a compact mainstream SUV. The support is okay, but I expected better driving position in the VDOP. I wish the steering wheel had more adjustments. Being 6'1", I'm still sitting a little bit too far from it, and I also wish I could lower it to have a more sporty driving position, especially in this turbo variant. They promote it as a sporty model, so I would like to feel a little bit lower and closer to the wheel. Now, moving to the back, the second row is pretty spacious, and I think we can say that the days of small compact SUVs are gone. The Tiguan offers a decent amount of space for 2 adults, also fitting a child's seat should not be a problem. We have 2 USB-C charging ports, third zone climate control and higher trims, so all you need. Overall, the interior space is pretty impressive. We have a great mix of materials, they're high quality. It does give you that feeling of driving a German vehicle, but the real question is, does it drive like a real German vehicle? Well, let's head into our favorite back road now and check it out. Okay, so we are behind the wheel of the new Volkswagen Tiguan Turbo. Some say it feels like an Audi, some say it feels like a Golf GTI in the form of an SUV. What exactly is it? Well, we're gonna find out. Let's put it into sport mode since we are on our favorite back road. I know it's snowing, but we'll see what this thing can do in those driving conditions. We can floor it. Transmission went into right gear, and I must admit that EA 888 unit is a fantastic engine. Super smooth when it comes to power delivery, very responsive. There is a hint of turbo lag, but we have plenty of low-end torque, and over the regular Tiguan that has a 201 horsepower engine, we have noticeably more mid-range torque. So if you like fast driving, you will appreciate that. Obviously, it doesn't feel GTI fast, but it has a perfect amount of power for this compact SUV. Now, as of cornering, it handles okay. It definitely doesn't feel like a blob like Kia Sportage or Hyundai Tucson do. It's definitely more inspiring to drive than a Honda CR-V and a Toyota RAV4. I haven't driven the new RAV4 yet, but if we compare it to the previous generation, that car was making your brain dead. Here, we have very nice inputs. The car listens to you. The steering feels artificially quick to give you that sensation of nimbleness. The car changes the direction pretty quickly, but it's okay. It's fine. It feels like a German SUV, a little bit more inspiring to drive. Again, it's not gonna handle like a dream. I'm not gonna call it a Golf GTI in the form of an SUV because it's not. There's still noticeable body roll, and there are some limitations when it comes to grip. You can experience some understeer, a little bit quicker than you expected. That's your typical Volkswagen, but wow, we have good traction. The 4Motion all-wheel drive system does a good job, and in tight corners, I even was able to get it to rotate, which was a little bit unexpected. So yeah, when it comes to chassis tuning, Volkswagen did a pretty good job. It doesn't give me as much fun as, I don't know, an Alfa Romeo Stelvio, BMW X3 do, but it's still okay for a mainstream compact SUV. Okay, Volkswagen, you did a decent job. Brakes are also very well calibrated. And even though the pavement is wet, we have surprising amounts of grip, so okay. Alongside a Mazda CX-5 or CX-50, this might be the best driving compact SUV. Okay. Alrighty, pretty stable through corners. I cannot complain about it whatsoever. Alrighty, let's go back into comfort mode and talk about what it's like to live with the new Tiguan on a daily basis. First of all, refinement. I think it outdoes all of the Japanese and Korean competitors, even domestic. It gives you that feeling of solidity that you drive a German car that is pretty well engineered. The MQB Evo platform has proven to be a very strong platform, and I really like the new Tiguan. The suspension feels a little bit stiffer. You know that, again, you're driving a European vehicle, but the ride is not punishing whatsoever. The turbo model with 20-inch rims is less comfortable than your regular SE or S model with 17 or 18-inch rims, but hey, you can always swap those. As far as I know, the brakes on the turbo model are not bigger, so you'll be able to fit smaller rims if you would like to. The cabin isolation is also pretty good. Typical for the segment, you can do highway speeds up to 75, 80 miles an hour, and it's gonna be quiet. There's some road noise, but again, it's not an Audi. People who say that it feels like an Audi, it may give you nice features like ambient lighting, good technology, comfortable seats with massaging, but when you drive it, you know that when it comes to suspension tuning and how it was designed, it's not at the level of a premium brand. Sorry to bring this to you. It feels very nice, it looks nice, but you pay that extra premium for cars like an Audi, BMW, or Mercedes because the suspension engineering is just better. But again, we're talking about a commodity, everyday mainstream compact SUV, and the Tiguan is really good. We have great set of driver assistance systems, we have adaptive cruise control, travel assist, which technically allows you to drive hands-free on some roads, but every 10-15 seconds it will yell at you and remind you to put your hands back on the wheel. Even does automatic lane changes, so that's a positive surprise. Overall, really strong choice. I'm really curious how the new RAV4 drives and how the new Mazda CX-5 does as well. We'll see in the next few months, but as of now, this might be my favorite compact SUV. So yeah, pretty good job, Volkswagen. I'll give you 8 out of 10. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about the new Tiguan, so let's head into the final thoughts and summarize it. Okay, so let's sum up the new Volkswagen Tiguan. I'll say it right away, it's the best SUV that Volkswagen released in years, not counting the Touareg, which is no longer available in North America. But with the new Tiguan, Volkswagen addressed many things that were wrong with previous generation. Interior quality, boring exterior design, and overall refinement. The segment of mainstream compact SUVs is ultra competitive, and every vehicle in this segment brings something to the table. Toyota or Honda will have great residual values and predicted good reliability. Kia or Hyundai will feel more soft and plushy and have good technology, but the Tiguan seems to take many things that makes it good. It's comfortable, it has decent driving dynamics, lots of space, perfect amount of power for a compact SUV, and great cabin in terms of space and quality. If you guys have any questions about the new Tiguan or any other compact SUV, drop a comment and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.